Hey, this is just a trigger warning because trigger warnings kind of need those. This does talk about topics such as, I guess you could call it abuse and the unaliving, the process of unaliving. Well, not the process, but like, yeah, unaliving. So, if you're not okay with that, then you should probably wait for my next upload. Thank you. Hello, everybody. My name is Squirrelbites, and it's genuinely been forever since I've made a video. Sorry about leaving for like 5-6 months. My life has been like genuinely insane. um, do you guys remember back when I would post once a week? Yeah, good times, good times. Maybe soon I can get back to that because I do genuinely miss it. And happy Pride Month! Wow, Pride Month, woo! And I thought, what other, appropriate video could I make other than a video about me being trans for Pride? I think it'd be a pretty cool video idea, and that's what I'm doing right now. This video is, as you can tell by the title, my trans journey, and we are going to begin at the very beginning. Obviously, it's the beginning. I want to say, like, 7 years old, and I decided I hated my name for no particular reason. Like, my dead name was, like, honestly, it's a really pretty name, but I hated it and I couldn't tell why. And I thought, okay, maybe I just want another name, like nothing fancy schmancy. I just want a different name. So I went up to my parents and I was like, hey, can I change my name? This is embarrassing, bro. Can I change my name to Vanessa, bro? And the reason I wanted this was because I was watching like Littlest Pet Shop videos where the pretty popular girls were named Vanessa. So I decided that's what I wanted my name to be. And my parents are very Hispanic. So my dad said, Vanessa, a te quieres llamar mayonesa. So basically he said that I wanted to be called mayonnaise. Thanks, Dad. Then we fast forward a little bit to, I want to say, 5th grade. I believe it was 5th grade. Yeah, it was definitely 5th grade. I'm 10 years old now, and I'm feeling like weirdly unhappy about who I am. I did not get along with the girls at all. Like, they just did not like me. I wouldn't be able to tell you why. They just don't. And my PE teacher, since all the girls actually hated me, she placed me on a volleyball team with the boys, and the boys treated me so much better. And I was like, dang, I kind of like the boys a lot more. Afterwards, I genuinely wanted to be a part of them. Like, I genuinely wanted them. And I did things like sneak into the boys' restroom and pretend like if I got caught, I would be like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see the sign. And I got away with it because, I was a stupid little kid. Nobody expected anything from a little 5th grade girl. And that's how I got away with it. Until one day, one faithful day, I was on YouTube, and I saw this YouTuber, and his name was none other than Sam Collins. Thank the Lord that I ran into Sam Collins and not Calvin Guerra. And he was explaining him being trans, and like, I forgot exactly what video it was, but it's something that definitely caught my eye, and I was like, what? And I clicked on it, and he was like, yeah, I was born a girl, now I'm a guy, trans journey. And I thought, oh my god, you can do that? That's so cool. So then I went to recess that day, and I asked my friends, hey, can you guys call me he, please? And they were like, okay, because they didn't care. And obviously they ended up not doing that because they were kids, and that's a really big change for silly little goofy little kids. And I went to my mom and I asked, hey mom, if I were born a boy, what would you have named me? And she said she would have named me Michael. And that's how I came up with my name. I just straight up asked my mommy. So I asked my friends, like, hey, would you guys call me Michael? And they were like, I guess, yeah. And they didn't do it, again, because they were goofy little kids. And I told my bestie at the time, I really want to be a boy. I want to be trans. And she said, why don't you tell your mom? And I said that my mom wouldn't let me. And she goes, how do you know? And I go, oh my god, you're right, I don't know. So I went into the car. My hopes and dreams are high. I look to my mom and I go, Mom, I want to be trans. She then laughed in my face. She didn't take me seriously at all. And I guess I can't blame her that much. Because being trans was like very much a new thing at the time. Not new, but like, you just didn't know a lot of trans people because they weren't out. So my mom didn't believe me. And I went about my life. I didn't really care that much that people were still calling me she and Michael, because I wasn't really, sorry, she and my dead name. Because, I didn't really experience dysphoria that much. The most dysphoric thing ever was just not being able to play on boys' teams all the time. That was it. I didn't really care that much. And same thing went on for 6th grade. And then we go to 7th grade. It was the summer between 6th and 7th grade, and I talked to mainly one person online. We had met each other's school, and I did accidentally tell her that I'm trans, and she was like, "Oh wait, for real?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I told her like, "Well, you don't have to call me this name. You don't have to call me he. It's okay." And out of her own accord, knowing that she didn't have to, she chose to, which I appreciate her a lot for that. And since she was the only person I really talked to throughout that entire summer, I had gotten so used to being called he and being called Michael. I had gotten so used to it. And then the start of 7th grade happened, and I heard my name on the roll. And I was fully expecting Michael. And I got my dead name. And I think that was the most amount of dysphoria I had ever felt in 7th grade. Like, at least the most amount of dysphoria I had ever felt up to that point. And I was like, dang, this sucks. I kind of hate this. I asked the teacher to call me by my name, and she told me that legally she couldn't unless she got parental permission, and there was no way my parents were going to say okay to that. But I did become a lot more stern about wanting to be called Michael, and I didn't really allow people to call me by my dead name anymore. And of course, that came some bullies. People definitely didn't like me for it, but for the most part, a lot of people in my school did call me that, and it was really nice. Push comes to shove, though, my parents do find out, and this part's a little tough. My mother had told me to go drink bleach, and it was a crazy thing to hear at the time, because it was the first time my mother had ever told me to do something like that. It kind of hit me that my mother would very much prefer a dead child than a trans one. And at the time, this was horrible to hear. I had a therapist, and the therapist asked them to get a binder for me, and they refused and never let me see her again, because they claimed that she was confusing me. And I do wonder how that therapist is doing nowadays, because I really liked her. My father, when he took me out of that therapy session, for the very last time, he looked to me and told me, no one's ever going to believe that you're a guy. And that also hurt at the time. Transphobic rhetoric continued from my parents since then. My dad, of course, he's much more of a quiet transphobe, where he doesn't like trans people, but he's not going to outright say it to their face. My mother is a much more vocal transphobe. Her transphobic rhetoric continued. There were times where I didn't want to shave my legs during the summer, just because it's a pain and a hassle. And she'd tell me, you're not a guy, right? God made you this way, and it's disrespectful to him to change it. And, she continued with stuff like that, telling me to kill myself, and just treating me awfully. There were times she wouldn't feed me, and she would get angry if I ate in front of her. So I would have to ration out my meals and eat in my room in the dead of night, just to get by. I had to consistently hide the fact that I was trans from my mother, even though she already knew. When it came to my school friends calling me Michael, if they accidentally called me Michael in front of her, then she would have a word with them, and she would tell them sternly, her name is dead name. As if she was telling them off for bullying me, but all they were doing was respecting me. It was really difficult for me, having to hide myself so often, even though they knew what I was. They were just in denial. And my mother did go after me for things such as liking women, but this isn't exactly what this video is about. It's about me being trans. And here we are now. The last time I had a huge conflict with my mother was on New Year's Eve of this year. It was late at night. I was in my sister's house. We were having a good time, and out of nowhere, seemingly, my sister starts talking to my mom about the bad things that she's done to her, saying that it's not that she hates my mother for them, but that they hurt her and they still affect her. My mom took this very defensively. She kept insisting that all families have their issues and that my sister's being dramatic and this and that, but she would never apologize. And at one point, I very much noticed this because this isn't the first time it's happened. I look to my sister and I tell her to stop. It's not that I don't believe in communication, but with someone like my mother, communication doesn't exist. Can't do that. So I look to my sister and I tell her, please, dude, stop. The more you keep going, the more she's going to argue with you. You know she's never going to apologize. So just stop. Stop trying. And my mother looks at me and she tells me to shut up. And I look at her and I go, I'm helping you right now. Helping you both. And my mother, points out the fact that I like women, that I'm going to hell. Even though all I did was try to help the situation by ending it. And one thing led to another, and she spoke about how my sister didn't allow her to her graduation. To her high school graduation. And I told her, if you'd like, I can do the exact same thing. Because they're going to call me Michael there. And my mom said, why would I ever want to go to your graduation? Neither of my parents went to my high school graduation. Because they were going to call me Michael there. And I told them that if they were going to correct people, quote unquote correct, and tell them that my name is really dead name, then I didn't want them to go. And they chose not to go. My sister didn't go either. After I began testosterone, she ghosted me. For whatever reason. She's always known that I'm trans, but she began to ghost me after I got on T. Which leads to now. I have a wonderful boyfriend whose parents are very supportive of trans people, and I spend almost all my time there. I have begun my testosterone, and so far there is literally no change other than a bottom growth and the fact that I'm breaking out like crazy, which is so lame. Things do suck in my family, yeah. But I'm doing pretty well, I like to think. I'm finally on the hormones that I wanted. I finally got a haircut, and I'm probably going to get another one because my hair is getting matted very, very much because I suck at taking care of it. And while I do technically still live with these transphobic people, and they'll never call me by my proper name and pronouns, it doesn't matter that much to me anymore. I don't really care that much anymore. It stopped hurting me a long time ago. Because once you've surrounded yourself by people who love you for who you are, the people who only love you if you fit into a box, they kind of become irrelevant after a while. And that's my trans journey. Thank you so much for watching. Sorry if this was a little bit more of a depressing video. Not my usual content, but I thought it'd be nice to make a little Pride Month special. If you liked the video, please like, comment, and subscribe because all of those things help very much. My commissions are very much open. It's 20% off if you order something Pride related from now to, I want to say, like 14th of July maybe? And if you'd like, you can donate to my Patreon. That helps me a lot. And to my coffee if it's freaking open by now. I've been having a lot of trouble opening it. Goodbye. Stay safe. Mwah!